was the dim crystal, I think.
Yeah, that's right. I remember seeing the name.
Can we rename the crystals, or they're
Yep.
they're okay?
Yeah, you could rename your dim crystal to like Treasure Ahoy or something.
Probably not a bad idea. It's basically what it is.
There's also that Remno spring right next to it. That's a really nicely placed crystal.
Yeah. Oh, I saw a harvester up in the upper left. I'm not going to be able to chase him down though. Hey, Aporo Sorceress, how you doing? She's a regular viewer and a pretty cool person all around.
Hey, Poro. Those are always nice to have.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, she was hanging out when the Robot Loves Kitty stream was going on, and they hooked her up with a copy of Legend of Dungeon, so totally gonna
Nice.
stream that at some point. Yeah, she's another live streamer. That's where people might know her from. Anybody recognizes her in the chat room there? So
Okay, cool.
I noticed there's different levels to collect. Is that just less shakes to dislodge something?
It actually makes it so you do it faster.
Oh, okay.
It's not like the most amazing upgrade in the world, but there aren't that many gathering talents yet, so
Right.
yeah. I don't know if I would recommend people upgrading it, but
Yeah, Legend of Dungeon. That's everyone in chat. First get Crea if you don't have it, but then Legend of Dungeon I definitely recommend is a good one.
I own that and have not played it yet. I need
Oh,
to.
man.
Like I actually talk to the developers like all the time because I'm in a Skype chat with them, and so I talk to them all the time, but I haven't played the game yet.
It really is. I mean, it's a lot of fun to play solo, but I can see the real virtue of it and the way it was designed is that party aspect of it. The idea that you're supposed to be playing with, all of your friends and everything, and it's a team-based procedural roguelike, and it is true in the sense of Rogue that you don't know what you're getting until you find it and drink it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I always enjoy is that roguelike aspect. It's actually something I was watching someone play Dark Souls 2, and I was thinking to myself, man, what if they put roguelike potions in this game? Like, they're just different colors by name, and you don't know which one does what. But it's not, I guess it's a static design of the game. They couldn't really have it be that dynamic with the inventory system, because then you might be in a situation where you just don't have any healing potions, which
Yeah.
it makes sense for the context of the game. It's supposed to be difficult, but with limitation. It's not supposed to be just super impossible, don't expect to win anytime sort of thing.
I really the next game I do I think is going to be a procedural Death Labyrinth.
Nice.
I have some interesting ideas for one, and yeah, I want to do that, but I need to finish Crea first.
Yeah. Totally understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually had something kind of in the works on my own head and in paper, and it's kind of continued to take shape and change over a long period of time. At this point, the way I would describe it is a procedural roguelike that becomes a sandbox as you play it longer.
Interesting.
And it's pretty much that everything is in a state of chaos, and very very few things. There's only like maybe 8 blocks that make up the world initially, and 2 or 3 creatures with limited attributes. And the more you play, the more varied stuff gets, and the more it expands out to where there's multiple biomes. Each one has 20 different blocks that make it up. And as you're playing through, you actually decide what is permanent, what is actually supposed to be there, and define those things as the state of order. So when you die and come back, those things will still be there. Maybe not in those same places, but you know those blocks are representative of that biome, or that type of creature is always going to exist with that type of face and that type of tail and that type of body. And some amount of, you know, being able to, and that's where it starts to get into the sandbox, is that you're starting to define what actually makes this world. So even if your character dies, you come back and the world is re-randomized, but it's randomized based on the things that you've defined as to be the systems of order.
Interesting. That sounds cool. Very ambitious.
Yeah, it's something I know I'm gonna need to learn a hell of a lot more for, and get a lot more probably just people, your hands on deck in general, but just a lot more experience in general before I'd be able to pull it off. Let's see, I'm just gonna stash the rest of this loot somewhere here and keep going. I think I've got most of my boxes full here though.
You start grabbing those other ones that you find on the ground.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, Bob Jones, how you doing? Silk. Oh yeah, that silk. I might actually be able to make that scarf now. I think it's 8 though, not 6. I don't have the sapphire anyway.
That gold treasure chest down there as well.
Yeah, I gotta kill some stuff near there. Get up in it. And my box of leather making goods. Get the hide in there. I gotta put that wand somewhere because I'm totally not going to be able to use that right now. I think I had some arrows in another box. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Oil clots also go in here. It's been going pretty good, Bob Jones. The voice you folks have been hearing this entire time, by the way, has been I think it's been scrolling by in the ticker. It's Jason from the Siege Games team. The one of the people that has been, you know, on the project from the beginning and makes the things happen.
I am the project.
Yeah, pretty much. And you said it was your wife that does the art for this?
That's right, Kelly.
That's really, really cool. Because the art is really awesome. All of the art she's done.
Thanks. Yeah, she's pretty awesome. Have you seen her her illustrations at all?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, she's actually a children's book illustrator by trade.
Nice.
And so she has a very impressive portfolio already. She does some awesome work. And so pixel art's actually like not her thing. This is the first game that she's really done pixel art for.
Doing a great job with it. It looks fantastic. Of course, pixel art, I mean, all art comes from having a good idea of what you're coming from first. When my friend and I made Ninja Saves Hanukkah, and that was mostly a project I was spearheading, we actually started with full-on designs for the character first, and then went back through and made the 16-bit versions afterward, because it's a lot easier for the, especially because we were going for that original like Final Fantasy style aesthetic, and I don't know if you've looked into it too much, but the perspective is weird. The body is actually at like a side profile, but the body's at a 3/4 angle, but the head's at a side profile.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Super weird.
Yeah, like Zelda and all of those like top-down games are kind of weird like that.
Yeah, and the reason why it works is because it's not just for looking at everything from like that not quite bird's eye perspective, but it's also being able to have that character then standing on a flat plane and acting like a platformer. So where was that chest? It was to the left here still. And that was how we designed the game. Is that a third of it's done as a platformer, a third of it's done as bird's eye style controls, up, down, left, right, and shoot in 4 directions, and a third of it's basically Space Invader.
Wow.
So
Trying to do multiple games in one.
yeah,
I know how that goes.
It was basically me trying to see if I could get the features of all of them in one place in an effective way, like something where you've got stat systems for 3 styles of games working in unison in one place. And actually, it worked pretty well. The attributes weren't all that complex, so it was pretty much the same in each version. But that's something that I've always wanted to do and take it further, is the idea of, okay, you're using the same set of attributes for the platformer version as you are for the true RPG version and all of that. And I'd kind of hoped the indie game Evo Land would address that, but when you get to the point where you're doing more action-oriented stuff, the RPG elements kind of melt away.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, that game was somewhat a disappointment for a lot of people.
It was just too short. It was, for me, a good history lesson, though they didn't quite get the order of things entirely correct. Like, from what I remember, there wasn't really a 3D that they represented that was actually that 2.5D with the paper trees and everything.
Right.
But I mean, it served as a good, like, if you never played retro games, this is kind of what it was like, sort of thing. Or I guess they're retro now, but when the games were new, they were hot stuff. Yeah. Of course, I mean, we could see older games getting new life breathed into them, not just remakes, like the remake of Shadowgate coming along. But
oh, really?
Yeah, they've decided to redo it again. I don't know if there's any difference to the content or if it's just the aesthetic. Yeah, some amount of dead horse going on there. But hey, if people are gonna throw money on the Kickstarter and keep at it, then that's, who am I to say no? But I've been thinking a lot about, like, well, Twitch Plays Pokemon did great. What about if someone did Twitch Plays Rogue?
That would be crazy.
I'm pretty sure it would die to a troll almost every time.
Yeah, I think the risk is just too high for that.
But they beat Pokemon in like a week or two of solid gameplay, and actually, got through the game with everyone randomly spamming actions at it. So surely, if a million monkeys with keyboards can beat Pokemon, then it can happen with Rogue as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you give it enough time, sure. I think, like, maybe trolls would get bored of it after a while.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean the actual creature trolls in the game. They were actually really. Those are the things that ended most
you're
runs
talking
for.
about internet trolls.
No, I mean they'll have something to do with it too. But the actual in-game troll creatures, like,
Okay.
I
Gotcha.
didn't realize the way they work. Not only do they usually find you in a room that's totally blacked out, so you don't know where your exits are, they do a ton of damage. But when you think you've killed them, they've actually backed off a square, and because it's in pure darkness, you can't see that they have just backed off. They start regenerating health, and then they come back after you after a few squares.
Oh.
So they're really tough to deal with in that way. Alright, I'm gonna travel back to the surface, deposit some more stuff, and then I'm gonna come down and see if I can find that gold key. If I can find a gold key, I'll get into that chest, we'll loot it, and then I'll probably wrap up for the session here.
I really want to see you find a pouch.
I want to see me find a pouch too. Now, do I have to research a pouch to actually be able to use it, or?
No.
Okay, good.
There's actually So you would find it, and then how it would work is if you wanted a satchel, you would have to research the pouch and then consume the pouch. And it was like completely horrible in order to make a pouch. So
Yeah.
you'd have to have, I'm sorry, to make a satchel. So you'd have to have two pouches to make it one satchel, which was not desired. So that
Right.
has since changed. So now
Good.
it's automatically researched.
Because that would definitely,
You're like, crap, I don't want to upgrade this anymore.
yeah, because that's where I'm at with it. I look at the satchel and I see there's that one question mark item, and I totally, whatever it is, I haven't found it yet, and I don't want to have to research it. Bob Jones, that's the thing though, is Rogue, you're only going to live for maybe about a 30-minute session anyway, if that, and that's a good session. You're expected to die a lot. The only reason why I'm not, say, the Binding of Isaac, or Twitch plays the Binding of Isaac, is because it's an action-based game and it just wouldn't work. It'd just be him, like, twitching out in the middle of the screen, shooting everywhere, not getting from room to room.
Right, yeah, you definitely need a turn-based game.
hmm Twitch plays Final Fantasy Tactics, I could see that.
Or you either need. So there's this one game I saw that's kind of interesting. They're doing a Kickstarter, where the community or the people in chat would vote to decide how the streamer would play the game to some degree. Like,
Oh,
they could
yeah.
vote to say like a monster would spawn and you have to fight the monster, or vote for items to appear, or vote for other things. And so the game's kind of changing depending on
How
what
the players
people
want to
are
do.
saying in chat.
Yeah, there's someone was telling me about that there was a game where the chat actually integrates with Twitch chat, like the in-game chat system, or it
Okay,
somehow
yeah.
links up. Who was telling me about that? I can't remember, but it's I really like that idea. Actually, that I don't know if that's going to be one of the aspects of Upsilon Circuit, but that's the game that is meant to have everyone just viewing and 8 players in the world. Did you hear about that one at all? That was from
Oh yeah, that's from
Robot Loves Kitty.
Robot Love Kid. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I have. It's interesting that they're doing that. Like these, Twitch games are coming up. Yeah, I was talking to them about it actually just the other day. They are currently looking to hire some people.
Yeah, it's really cool. It should be an awesome game. Like no matter how it goes, it's just even attempting something like that is totally awesome. But how it's actually going to turn out, I think, is going to be amazing and be a really interesting like social experience for games. Yeah, I really need to go back through and cut a highlight from the description of the game they gave when they were on a few weeks ago, because it was pretty thorough. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, they haven't, if I recall correctly, they haven't said too much about it yet publicly, or like at least there hasn't been like any news about it.
Yeah, I think I might have gotten the biggest real scoop on the game, to be honest.
Nice.
So I really should post that at some point. I just asked them about it if they actually want it around, or if it should just be something hidden away on some obscure stream recording. I don't know. Either way, it's pretty exciting. They're a couple of really cool folks. I actually got to meet Alex at E3 last year at the indie booth area.
Oh, neat.
So that was where I first got to play. Even got to play it on the gold NES controller things.
Oh, they had it there?
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that they've been working on it for so long.
They've been working. It was when they were living in the treehouse, apparently, that they were working
Wait,
on it. I don't know how long they were.
Legend of Dungeon or
Yeah.
Epsilon?
Oh, Legend of Dungeon. That's what I was.
Okay.
Sorry, I guess I
Okay.
went back to.
I thought you were still talking about Epsilon.
Yeah, no,
like,
no,
oh, wow.
that they haven't talked about much yet.
Yeah, I read about the treehouse. That's actually where I first heard of Robot Loves Kitty is when they got that news coverage.
Yeah, pretty cool. It's definitely an interesting way to develop.
Yeah, Kelly and I want to not go quite that extreme, but kind of live in different interesting places instead of just doing the typical living in the same place for a long time.
Gotcha. Why does your wife gnaw on sticks?
My
Ooh.
wife gnaws on sticks.
Are you? Is that for the right chat there, Bob Jones?
Oh, Kelly gnaws on sticks.
Oh,
That's in her on her bio for her website. She's
that's
just being
funny.
weird. She likes bunnies. Maybe she was inspired by the bunnies.
That could be it. I don't know if it was something that happened before or after brushing teeth and toothbrushes were discovered and invented, but allegedly people would use twigs to brush their teeth.
Oh, fun! I'm sure that
Yeah.
was great for the gums.
Well, allegedly people would be able to keep their teeth into their 80s, so that's not too bad. Oh, another
Yeah.
agility thing. Nice. Give it to me. Alright. Now to find some creatures around here somewhere, because I want that key. I think I gotta go more towards the main chasm here. To the left. Yeah, I see a bat. Oh, I see some sapphire. I might actually be able to make that thing here pretty soon. The scarf. Is the scarf? It's an accessory type item, right?
That's right.
Cool.
Yeah, it makes it so you can breathe underwater, if I recall correctly.
Ooh. So then, what's the other one do?
The Sano Gorget,
Yeah.
that gives you like plus 100 and like 20 health or something. It's like a massive amount of HP.
Nice. Cool. So that's further like not necessarily build defining stuff there, but ways to add specificity to the character.
Right, yeah, I was thinking like that Gorget would be kind of like a more tanky item or something. Like I'd like to add a lot more of those in the game.
Gotcha.
So much I want to add. I need to hire someone else to help, another developer.
Well, it's one of those things where it's either that or get it to the point where you can just kind of open the floodgates to the community, take what you want, and ditch the rest. Because
Yeah.
it's being the idea of a community project. It's I can understand there's only so much that you can open up to other people before it's things you specifically have to address on the engine level.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of why I want to, like, I'm constantly having to do engine work, and so there's this balance that I've been trying to get where it's like I do some engine work and then I add in new content, do some more engine work, add in new content, and so like going back and forth between those two, and it's tough to balance that. But if I
Yeah.
had someone helping, then I could focus on engine work, and then like someone else could just work on adding content. That Globat senses you.
Yep. But can't do much about me because I can just walk right through them and keep swinging.
Yeah, I used to have it for a long time, actually. I had it so that they would not be able to attack. If you attacked, you would not be able to move. You would kind of like stop.
Yeah, and that makes sense for the wand, which I've seen that it's enabled in that way. But the rest of the stuff, it makes sense to be able to keep moving with the sword and stuff, because a lot of these a lot of platform games in general, you're expected to kind of be able to move and swing, or at least that the swing itself has a little bit of a forward step to it.
Yeah, I think that's whenever I do the
Oh yo man, thanks for coming. Sorry.
The rework of the combat system, I'll probably end up doing that, where
Nice.
like you won't move, like you can't keep running whenever you attack, but you will move a little bit, like move forward some, so it's kind of more like you're putting your body into it.
I would say maybe some weapons you should be able to fully move, like daggers for example would be something that I would see the player being able to keep moving and attacking, but you're sacrificing some amount of range and some amount of damage for the ability to do that. Maybe you got a slightly higher crit rate because you are getting close and you are just trying to hit vitals.
Yeah, it's definitely something that will have to be played with a lot.
Yeah. Oh, they're on the other side of a wall there. The bat I can get. Well, that's the other thing, is I find myself a lot of times jumping before I'll swing, just so that way, I make sure that I get through. So I could see that also being a consideration I have to deal with, is the players that are basically jumping and swinging at this, or they'll jump and start the swing. If there is something where maybe it cuts their upward momentum and they immediately start descending when they do that, they won't be able to use it as a dodge the same way, because I can just swing jump, and get through a lot of stuff and hit a lot of stuff, especially with the arc of the sword. And I'm sure if I'm using the spear, if I'm just pointing down while I do that. I know. Give me a key.
Yeah, you have to make sure you're not too far away from it. I don't remember the exact range.
Okay. Because I'm maybe 2 or 3 screens away right now.
Yeah, I think you want to be a little bit closer than that. I think like 1.5 screens away is about.
Oh, I see. There's an oily slime there now. Yeah, there weren't enemies there before, so I had to figure out where to get some more critters.
Yeah, there's this challenge of you don't really want monsters spawning on screen because that looks weird, and so I have to have them like spawn off screen. But then it's really hard getting that to like work whenever you're in these narrow areas underground.
Yeah. Ooh, harvester.
There's also ignite up there.
Yeah. I'll go after that next. I just gotta keep getting that ectoplasm because I know I'm gonna need it. Because let me tell you, I really like that wand and I really want it to be more powerful. The only way it's gonna happen is if I upgrade. These things have really low defense for something that's made of molten rock, I would think. Yeah, that's just my perception of it. I guess considering those laser things are like an armored beast by comparison.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, I can see that they're a little weak in the defense.
Yeah. I could see them maybe being more susceptible to elemental damage, but less to physical.
Yeah, I think they are.
Okay. Alright. You, silly plant thing, Cortez, come down here. I know you wanna, I saw you down here earlier.
They kind of just move all about.
Yeah.
They're definitely the most like peculiar creature in the game.
Yeah. Because when you see it pop up next to you, it's like, is it facing me? Is it facing me? Because if it's not facing you, you can just go on. But if it is, then it is aggroed. So, is loot generated at the moment that the creature is killed, or at the moment when it's spawned?
When it's killed.
Okay. So it'll look at where it's at in the world and determine based on that?
That's right.
Cool. Because otherwise, I was just gonna say, how's the key gonna spawn if it's near the chest? If it doesn't, but yeah, that makes sense then.
Right, if the monster like moves further away. Man, the key just won't drop for you.
No, I mean it is a gold key. It's not like it's supposed to be easy to find. I would think a gold key and the thing that keeps me from getting into a gold chest would be you know, kind of an epic thing that I'd have to kill a Paragon slime for or something.
Right.
But it's just a matter of leaving and coming back, or maybe aggroing that, having it come follow
There's
me
an
here.
oil slime down there as well. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh no, I didn't. I'll have to go get it.
Over where the harvester was at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Cortez, like, he doesn't actually move towards you once you aggro him, so he'll just kind of go away. There's that slime.
Yep. And I'll head back this way for a moment. So usually players aren't expected to be walking around with like 50 keys or anything. You're only going to find one in an area near your chest.
You can sometimes find extras. Like I guess if you get lucky, and maybe you'll find a like swarm of monsters, and then but you don't find the treasure chest at first, so you just keep killing the monsters. They can keep dropping keys until you open up the treasure chest.
Oh, cool. But if I actually placed a gold chest in the world, it wouldn't give me that same luxury. It has to be a locked one, right?
That's right.
Okay. Because otherwise I could see people just creating a gold chest farm and be like, alright, come at it.
Yeah. Well, so it probably needs to be tweaked a little bit more, but the idea that I'm trying to get is like that these monsters, are carrying around these keys for that treasure chest, and so it doesn't make complete sense that there's a harvester in that house.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make complete sense to have the multiple monsters drop a key, or have multiple keys drop for a single treasure chest that's nearby, but it's kind of tricky to actually keep track of something like that.
I getcha. Learn later there was a chest right in your house. Awesome, Tenek. That is awesome. Now you're unlucky with spares.
That is awesome.
That's really funny. Now, there's no way that trying to access it, even though it's locked, is gonna tell it to undo the thing that makes the keys drop near it, right?
That's right.
Okay. Just taking random guesses. You know, could be a bug. Never know.
I'm pretty sure it's good.
Okay. Yeah. It sounds like that's a mechanic that's been pretty solid for a little bit then, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. You never know, though. Actually, just the other day, I found a bug while working on this new boss where the animations could get messed up under certain special condition, and that bug has been in the game for 2 years now, pretty much, like since the very beginning.
Wow.
And I just never knew about it because it was like super corner case, and it was actually an issue with how we were doing the animations that this other issue thing came up with, and so.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Man, just drop a key.
Gotta do it legit though, no putting in a code for it.
Up, up, down, left, right.
Yeah, no, it's because right now you can just kind of put in any console commands and they function, don't they?
Yeah. I
Hey,
don't know. Did one drop it?
from a bat.
Nice. Yeah, I'm lagging a little bit behind.
Yeah. A restless light doublet. Cool.
Does it have a pouch in it?
I did not see a pouch.
Sadness.
I think that's just how it's gonna be for this one. It's gonna be a while before I see a pouch, and that's, I guess, something that you just don't want to have craftable because then it'd be too easy to get them, right?
Yeah. So what I'm trying to do with them is having it be like the bottles in Zelda, where it's like this commodity, like this thing that you really want to get, and having more is, extremely useful. So one thing I actually added in with this new version is whenever you open up a treasure chest, it actually has an increased chance, like you should. So like right now, whenever you open up a treasure chest, it has like a 50% chance that it'll drop one, drop a pouch. So it's amazing that you haven't found one yet.
It is.
And then every single time it does not drop one, it increases that chance by 10%. So it's like 50, 60, 70, 80. It's just probably at like 80% now, or 90%.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Oh well, I've had issues with RNGs like limiting me in the past. That's actually why I stopped playing World of Warcraft, because I did Molten Core Dungeon for literally over a full year and didn't see the one engineering schematic in the place drop. It didn't drop, not when I wasn't around or anything. It just straight didn't drop for our guild for a full year. So I was like, well, the only thing I'm trying to do in the game right now, you're giving me no help with. You're not gonna, go out of your way and have a GM just send it to me and, say good effort. So whatever. I'm not gonna buy the expansion. I'm done. And I haven't installed it since.
Yeah, I think RNG is good, but leaving vital, like some really important things up to RNG is just bad.
It is. Or, RNG, but then have some amount of forgiveness with it that, if something hasn't spawned in 400 instances, that it should have spawned within 200 to just force the issue and fork it over.
Yeah, I think a good solution is having the increased probability, so that way it progressively gets towards 100% drop rate. So the longer you haven't seen it, the more likely you will the next time. What was it? League of Legends does that with critical hits. Actually, it's kind of interesting where they if you don't get a critical hit, then you'll be more likely to get one the next time, and it'll be increasing. And then once you get one, it'll go back down. So it's kind of like it balances out. So that way you don't really get lucky streaks where you get like 4 critical hits in a row.
Gotcha. Whoops. Where'd that M go? Home is the name of that crystal. You'll see it in a second. Alright, you go back to the dim crystal one more time. So there's never going to be a way for players to uproot and replace or create their own crystal shards, right?
I don't know. The way crystals, I don't know if I want players to be able to do that. Something, so I forgot where, I think it was in the IRC like last week or something, but I was talking to someone about this. One thing I might add in is going back to Phantasy Star Online. Do you remember the TP, the teleport pipes?
Vaguely. Remind me a little bit again.
So you can put down a pipe where you are at, and then you can go back to town, and then you can return to that pipe, and so you can like kind of
oh yeah,
kind of
basically
like
town portal from Diablo.
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of considered maybe doing something like that, and then so that would make it so that you could quickly join your friends, and also be able to go back really quick, and like so you don't have to worry about like traveling far to get from crystal, or to go back home and then teleport to a nearby crystal and then travel all the way back to where you were at.
I see. So I guess the thing I'm kind of thinking of with it is the idea of actually having players build up architecture that's larger than just one station, that you might actually, you'd be able to create a teleport station of some sort to return to these crystals, or things that you place in the world, and also where you craft them comes from this structure. But it would be something that you actually have to build up, like the core structure itself, and then 4 like energy pylons surrounding it, and making sure the entire thing is bricked in with a certain quality of material or higher. Kind of like how you need certain requirements to do a house in Terraria. Just an idea for a way to do it. So that way, it isn't something you have immediately, but it's something you can kind of work on over the course of the game. And maybe the more energy pylons, the further the range is. So initially, you can only go, a certain distance, but as you've gone on further and further, you can actually max out the range and go all the way across the world with it. Now,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
Something I have not tried with this game that I've done in pretty much every other 2D sandbox within like the first few minutes. I never made a sky bridge. Is there really anything up right now?
No, there's not. There's a plan to do a sky biome. But we have not done that yet. And yeah, there's no need to do that at all.
Right. Now, would you just do the one sky biome, or would you actually have multiple, like a stormy kind of area, just regular kind of sparse, fluffy clouds, some sort of like various air fortress castle-y things, or?
I'm not completely sure. We've only kind of talked about it some. So we haven't like completely designed it out. It'd probably be somewhat like the underground, where it would be mostly the same thing, but there would be like mini biomes that would be special inside of it, and maybe even some like very similar things that you would find underground. I'm just I don't know exactly how I want to do that yet.
I gotcha.
Like at what point the players should be able to go there. Is that is that if you're going based off of like the ore tiers, is that would you go up to the sky biome like at gold or at silver or maybe even later, or
It'd have to be something really cruel to try to go after early in the game, like just brutally difficult, because otherwise that's the first thing people are going to do. And I know in Terraria I can fight my way through the tiers, or I can get a pile of dirt, try to find one of the flying islands, and get one of the Star Fury sword in there, whatever, and just rain down holy hell upon everything.
Right. Yeah. There could be like one possible way to like kind of prevent that is to have this like type of atmosphere type thing where if you are up there, then you are taking damage unless you have some item or
kind of like the Edge of Space has the containment
exposure.
Exposure. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe something kind of like that. I don't know exactly, but yeah, there's definitely that challenge of trying to. I don't want to
gusts of wind.
Gust of wind.
Yeah, just have, because if you're just building up a path to just try to build a sky bridge, gusts of wind will just blow you off constantly. And you've got to get like some sort of lead boots or something that'll keep you from getting blown away. And then maybe if you get high enough, despite the gusts of wind, that you're still not kind of supposed to be there. There's enemies that you'll run into. They don't do damage, but it's basically a cloud that kind of angrily pushes you away. And like tries to push you back down the path that you've created. So that way you've got to either have the thing that allows you to resist those gusts of wind, or have armament that allows you to defeat those clouds before they completely push you back as the limit. Just ideas coming off my head here, but fun. That's the sort of fun stuff that I'd really want to see to limit players getting up there, because you're right, it's definitely not something that people should be getting up there immediately, and it seems like it's something that should be somewhere between one tier and the next, rather than like the end game being in the sky.
Yeah, I would like to so Crea is not about limiting people, so I don't want to like actually completely make it so they can't do it, but make it so it'd be very challenging if they were to try to. So yeah, I don't know exactly what it will be, like you suggested with the like knocking the player down, so it's challenging to just get up there, or making it so that they cannot stay up there for a very long time without having progressed further into the game, so they can still go up there, and maybe players can learn tricks to be able to stay up there for longer durations, like where they have it very max out their heal early on, and they get tons of healing items, and they go up there and they're just like constantly healing themselves to try to stay alive while they're trying to collect items up there that they kind of really shouldn't be getting, but like they can kind of get early on if they really try.
Yeah, it seems like something where a multiplayer crew would have a little bit easier time doing it than a solo player.
For like, everyone keep Bob alive.
Yeah. Hey, more agility. I will take it. Cha-ching. Yeah, so I really like the cave system in this. Like, it's generated in a way that I don't really feel like I have to dig for too long to find where the next system is at. And this is just in the small world. I've found the large world is just... The large world feels like it's just as dynamic as the small world, except I feel like I find larger resource nodes at the same frequency that I would find a standard kind of grouping of resources.
Yeah, it does scale the resources based off of the size of the world to try to make it so it's about even. It's kind of hard to like keep everything even because the world is actually taller on the large worlds, and consequently, like, you have to kind of in some ways dig deeper you have to go further down to get to some
that makes sense.
And so in some ways, large worlds are harder, and in some other ways, they're actually kind of easier because it means that you have, a kind of higher chance to be able to find resources that are near the surface, that are nearby your cave systems. And
Yeah.
so it's kind of like a double-edged sword.
For sure. Yeah, and just exploring around here, seeing little stuff here and there. I see something off to the right here.
I just saw that too.
Yeah. So the way the caves are generated, that's all doing that same kind of cellular system that you're talking about, right?
No, actually, I have this this cave system set up. It's kind of, I guess it's not too complicated. It's just, so we have these images that we call stamps, and what we do, it'll have like a connector on either, like it'll have two connectors, and so if I would say like where it starts and where it begins.
Hey, a gold key.
From a pot?
Yeah.
Nice. That means a treasure chest is nearby.
Yep.
So, yeah, what I actually do is I just connect all of these different like stamps together that kind of mold out the cave system.
Cool. That's really cool. I like the idea of doing it that way. Because I thought about, what it took to make Rogue versus, something more complex and integrated like Terraria. And yeah, it seems like you've just does it not want to let me put these down here? I guess not.
You can't plant seeds underground. They need sunlight.
But I want them underground. Actually, you can kind of plant if the back wall layer is if you dig through and it's still sunlight, even if it's covered, you can still build or plant, I should say.
Okay, yeah, it's like, but so that's kind of closer to the surface. Yeah, at some point it decides that it's underground completely, and at that point you can't.
Yeah, stamp system. Yeah, because I mean, Rogue, it's a really easy way to do the procedural levels, and I've seen other games that did it that way. Azure Dreams for PlayStation 1.
Oh man, I love that game.
I thought I loved it more, and then I went back to play it again because I was doing research on procedural games, and I was like, why did I enjoy this? This game is such a grind. It's so painful, and it's slow.
Yeah, they definitely. I actually went back and played it recently, like about a year ago, and they definitely did some interesting things and some bad things, but it is kind of cool. Yeah, I know.
The overall game, it's got a lot of great stuff to it, but then there's also a lot of like, if you don't get the right stuff or if you don't get a lot of certain stuff, then it almost feels like a wasted run.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, definitely.
Come in with a wind crystal. If you don't leave with another wind crystal, it feels like kind of a wasted run. If you come in with, whatever equipment, you don't get any more things to make your training wand or your gold sword +1 or get your armor up at all. Kind of feels like a wasted run if you don't find any new creatures. And that was one of the things when I came back to replay it is the last run I did before I had stopped playing. There was some issue where I had a level 20 brick who unfortunately died and was lost to me, and that's terrible because getting the block upgrade, or not the brick, the metal, the upgraded version, losing one of those, it's like you've basically got something that's ready for endgame, and all of a sudden you're back at square one.
Yeah, that Can they actually die permanently?
Yeah, they I think it was because we hatched the egg in there, and that's why if it died, it wouldn't come with us or something.
Oh yeah, that that would be a problem. Unless
And
you, there's like one item that makes it so you can get them back, but
yeah, there was also the attempted autosave system or lack of an autosave, so we're gonna punish you system. That as you load a game, it deletes your save. So you know,
yeah,
if your system resets, you've lost all of your data, and it's no fun for anybody. That's just a bad. Honestly, that was a really bad mechanic. I thought in general.
they just don't want people cheating.
Yeah, but it's a single player game. Like,
Yeah,
what's the stakes? It's people cheating themselves. They're not cheating you out of $60. It's not like
right.
people reviewing the game are going to give a different. In fact, they might give a better review if that mechanic isn't in. Because just because it might be a new revolutionary mechanic doesn't mean it's any good. So that chest was somewhere down towards this area, but I'm not sure. Do you remember? I think the jars were to the left here a little bit.
They were right there, like right where you're standing a moment ago.
So it's got to
it's
be around here.
right. You could try up over by where that Tenebras was, or maybe down a little bit more.
I didn't even see the Tenebras.
Here's up to your upper right.
Upper
You
right.
go back to where that gold stash was at.
Oh, I see. Oh, so it could be that far from the key?
Well,
I see hollow down below me. I'm gonna check that first. If it'll let me.
yeah, it could be that far. It could also be below you. It's probably below you. I think you have to destroy that plant.
Yeah, finally got through it there.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the thing. It could kind of be anywhere from here.
What about below that? Down there?
Below-
Oh. Yeah, I'm like just slightly delayed. Like, I believe it's about one way.
Yeah, Tanek basically. Yeah, so it could be as far as somewhere down here then. Yeah, I would use this technique in Terraria where I would dig into the wall, like into right here, and then deposit a torch or something in that space to extend my vision through the wall, but I don't think I can deposit a torch. Oh, I guess I can. It's just the placement range is a lot shorter.
It doesn't look like anything's over there.
No.
Might want to try up above it.
No, I found some silver. So, have you thought about, I guess, obviously not in the near future, but a little bit later on, having alternate versions of material, so you can either make it with copper or with aluminum, for example.
If I recall correctly, Terraria did something like that, right?
Well, it was that they had two separate tiers of the same material, or like maybe I guess more open kind of blueprints, I guess, where it's like, here's a sword, make it with whatever material you want, and the results will be randomized, sort of
Oh,
thing.
okay. Yeah, actually, for a while, I may do this. I don't know. But having it so it's a little bit more open like that. So there would be categories of items, and you could be able to put any type of item in that like item slot that fits that category, and then depending on the grade of that item, it could change the
Yeah.
quality of the the resulting item.
I don't know. Did you ever play Star Wars Galaxies?
No, I did not.
That was kind of the crafting system that I think of, because it really had a lot of things going right with it. Pretty much the way it worked is that every week the materials you could scavenge in the world would be swapped out for different versions of a similar material type. So you'd have like a ferrous metal that you would use for making whatever sorts of tougher things. Then you'd have like a conductive metal that you would use for electronic devices, and the different versions of them, they had a lot of different names and such to them. The different versions of the materials that have different properties, such as that the best crafters were people that pretty much collected all of the materials. They knew what were the components that worked best to make a scope, what were the components that worked best to make a the body for a rifle, what were the best components for the power core, etc.,
Okay.
etc., so they could make it with the absolute best types of materials. And that doesn't, there wasn't like, gold, silver, or copper sort of thing. It was, this material has this kind of hardness, this kind of malleability, this
Wow, that's
conductivity.
really complex.
Yeah, and it was probably one of the, at this point, I would say one of the best and most complex crafting systems I've ever seen in any game. It was so amazing. I kind of think that was one of the things that helped the game keep going for so long, was that crafting system, because there was so much uniqueness that came from it. So, gone kind of in a circle around it here. Still haven't.
Have you tried that hole over to the right?
Where that Tenebris was? I guess that'll be the next spot.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking. Well, we haven't gotten into it yet, so actually I won't say. But it's kind of weird that, like, you've played for 8 hours and you've only explored, like, you've only been kind of scratching at the surface for a lot of things. Like,
Oh, really?
there's several more systems that you haven't found yet, and like, there's a boss, and like, there's a lot of stuff. And it's crazy to think that I'm adding in so much more.
Well, it's the perspective of the person making it. It's completely different because everything that goes into it. So you can kind of be mentally plotting out in your head, if you're going to try to do a run through, how long it would take to do each part of it. And
Right. Yeah, I have no idea how long it takes for people to like do runs.
yeah, and it's something that is kind of tough to gauge. Like when we did the Edge of Space run, we were hoping we could get really a lot farther than we did in the 2 hours, because we didn't realize, I guess, kind of how difficult going is. 100 damage, my goodness. You get that shield up. Can I get a higher level? Does my Divine have enough points? Yeah, I'll get that shield up, because I'm guessing it does elemental damage.
Yeah, I think it is. Or it's magic is what it should be.
Yes, laser damage. The elemental system in Warframe is one that I actually talked about recently because it's got a lot of really cool elements to it. Now I haven't done an episode with that game yet, but I probably should. But the way it works is there's 4 basic elements, and then after that there's 6 combined elements that come off of that. So the way you'll have fire will damage certain things in some ways and apply a damage over time. Ice will apply certain ways to certain things and apply a slowing effect. But if you use something that's combining fire and ice in the same elemental attack, it does burst, which does fire and ice damage, and the secondary effect it does is a stun.
Oh wow.
So there's the 4 main elements and then the 6 variations, and that's how you get all of the 10 elements. Laser is just some combination of, I think it's like fire and electricity.
Right. It kind of reminds me of Magicka.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good comparison. And that's so okay, so we've gone through this area and I haven't found it yet, but there's I'll leave that gold for later. There's gold everywhere. But yeah, that kind of variation from Magicka, it definitely kind of a similar vein with this, and that's kind of what I was thinking of for when you're talking about the elemental system earlier. The idea of combining the different potions. It might not necessarily have to be like completely like super complex. It could be that I could help write something up for it even. I've got ideas in my head, but like, you know, this type of herb or this type of thing will give you and everything is returned as absolute values. So it'll give you plus 50 health and minus 10 defense, but because it comes out as an absolute value, it gives you 10 defense. So if you drink another item or another potion that gives you plus 10 defense, the absolute values of the two cancel out and you get 0 from it.
Right.
So that's something that could be done where there's like positive and negative interactions kind of going on, or a tree of interactions. So you can be getting a lot of the same effects from a lot of different things. But then when you try to combine them, what that turns into is, completely varied.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. Are there any games that do that currently like that, or?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. There might be, but yeah, I'm sure there probably is some game, and
Yeah, I was just wondering
50
if
years
there's any
of them.
examples.
Yeah. Maybe I if I knew it better, I'd say maybe the potion system in the Elder Scrolls series, because that
Elder Scrolls. That's the first is saying Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, that's really the only one I can think of that had that level of complexity. And I guess maybe I was kind of thinking about that a little bit. Morrowind was the one that I had played a lot. Morrowind and Daggerfall before that.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say I played Daggerfall a lot, but I enjoyed. I actually know it was Morrowind that I don't know how much I played. A bit of both. Kind of transitioned from one to the other, and then found the same issues with both of them were persisting. So I kind of stopped playing them as much. And that was you've got enough content for it to be an MMO, and yet here I am, solo in the world, running for miles, not knowing where to go or what to do.
Well, now they have Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, which has been like largely disappointing from what I understand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because apparently it doesn't even look as good as Skyrim, but beyond that is from what I understand, it's basically just a ho-hum, like, standard MMO. There isn't really anything new or exciting about it. Another gold key. I know I'm close. Stop telling me I'm close. Keep giving me those keys, though. Sile cores or Ori leaves? I think Sile cores are probably worth more.
Yeah, as long as you don't have any NPCs, the RE is kind of useless.
I've got like 500 RE saved up already, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so not only have I gone in a circle around some of the
Oh,
potential
what's up
area,
over by that
the upper left,
Ignite?
that's a
Yeah,
good
did you see
question.
that? Have you been up
Bats.
there?
Bats
Or,
doing
oh yeah.
damage to me. Let me handle these bats first. Why is it not striking it? There we go. Didn't seem like it wanted to do damage there. I really don't know if I need for glow balls anytime soon. Definitely just need to get a pouch going.
The glow balls are a consumable item. You can like throw them around on the ground,
Oh,
and
I
they
didn't know
provide
that.
light.
Oh, cool. So they're kind of like the Terraria glow sticks.
Yeah. Um, but you can also use oil and make sticky
Sticky
glow
glow
balls.
balls, yeah. It's kind of like the sticky glow sticks in Terraria.
Oh, do they have that as well?
Yeah, yeah. That's also been a feature for a while. Oh, exploded! Dang it.
I didn't know that they had sticky glow sticks. How do you make those?
Um, I think it's just the goo from the what's it called? It's from the jellyfish or from the slimes. One of the two, but you can totally make sticky glow sticks.
Oh, okay.
So where was that area I was stomping around? That was over on the right, I think.
You completely like jumped into that ignite as he exploded.
Yeah, I noticed.
Rough.
I saw that he was in that red state. I thought he was just about to cast a spell again. I forgot that they explode.
Yeah, they only do that if they get low on life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to do things differently than Terraria because Terraria does so much stuff that sometimes they kind of like have covered all of the basics. So it's kind of like, I don't know, hard.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I say, like, all the stuff that's happened in Terraria, all the stuff that they've built has already existed in, non-sandbox platformers before it. Every single
Right.
thing. So, the fact that it's all on one place, that means they've done a good job doing their homework and research of, all the awesome platformers that existed before and putting in some of those really cool features. So, to that
Right.
extent, it's on one hand it's an original game. On the other hand, one can say, it is standing on the shoulders of the giants behind it. Is taking all of what existed before and going forward with it.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Like, it's interesting to see how. I guess you kind of have to be like that. Like, you can't be innovative on every single front, and so. Like Terraria was very innovative with the gameplay and how they, figured out how to do a 2D sandbox game effectively. But like beyond that, Terraria is pretty generic, like where they use all, very generic monsters and a lot of the items are very like generic, typical fantasy items.
Yeah.
And like Crea kind of does almost the exact opposite, where we are trying to be much more innovative with the mechanics and the some of the items, and like we're trying to have this whole lore in the game,
Yeah.
and do have all of our monsters more or less are like unique. I think the only like very normal creature in the game is we have a bird.
Right.
Like even the speep is kind of weird.
With the spring legs, yeah.
Yeah. um, but I don't know. To each their own, I guess.
Yeah. Man. Okay, so I'm back where I was trying to dig around.
You cannot find that treasure chest.
I cannot find that treasure chest. I guess when I was back at the spawn point there, I should have deposited some materials. Oh well. Oh, that crystal is up again though. So funny. And there's no chance that it's trying to remember the previous position, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Or that there was previously a gold chest there.
Yeah, there's definitely another one somewhere, but just can't find it.
Just can't find it. I'm gonna go back real quick and deposit some stuff. We will find it. We will find it.
So these remnant items, you actually can only use so many of them before your character can't use anymore. It's based off of your level. So like for every level, you can use 5 remnant stat items.
Oh, cool.
So it's kind of like you know how in many RPGs, once you level up, you get like some number of stats that you can put into different. You can get stat points that you put into your stats, and so I kind of do that, but you have to first find these remnant stat items.
That's a cool way to do it. Hey, a pound sign. Welcome. Oh yeah, you just sent me a Skype message. Damn, 628 stone. I wasn't even going to collect stone.
So much.
Well, with the maxed out tools, it does kind of collect quickly. That's the thing in Landmark that I really enjoy and love to see in a one of these kind of games is there's an item called a pulverizer. Now, it doesn't destroy any of the ore that exists in the world, any of the stuff you're trying to collect, but all the non-tier material that's basically junk, it'll just destroy it and obliterate it, and you don't actually collect it. So you use it to burrow through the world to get from point A to point B, or if you've got ore that you need to get after, you can dig out the area around it and then collect it in a few strokes. For a game like this, I would love to see basically a burrowing drill. It doesn't really collect anything, and it doesn't leave items behind, but it also only gets through like dirt, stone, rock, snow, sand, soot, the basic stuff that doesn't have any quality to it.
Actually, that's something that my brother helps with design for this game, and he often he only really does design and help sometimes with some basic content because he doesn't know how to program.
Gotcha.
And so oftentimes he'll come up with these systems or whatever that he wants to see in the game, but I don't feel are that important yet. And so he'll petition and he's like, add this thing and add this thing and add this thing, and that's one of the things that he's been petitioning for a long time is like some type of drill thing where you just destroy blocks, but it does it very quickly and effectively.
Use something like fuel like lava or something. Yeah, that's a good idea. Or have a cooldown on it. Well, Tanic, at the same time, Landmark is also an MMO. It's a different kind of persistence going on here. But if my world is totally wrecked because I've destroyed everything out of it, I suppose it would go to the scavenger though at that point, wouldn't it? And then you just have a scavenger full of dirt. Instead of, if it's destroying the blocks out of the world, instead it would probably just end up going to that scavenger NPC.
Yeah, I could do that.
So that way, if you've destroyed everything, you don't have enough, world left, it feels like, to actually have it be a world, you can go back and rebuild. Just get that dirt, however. Okay, so we've gone in many different directions.
I would be like, I don't know if Crea. So whenever I started with Crea, I was intending for it to be more of a sandbox game with RPG elements, but it has quickly become, well, not that quickly, but it has become more of an RPG with sandbox elements. But like, I kind of still would like to see a sandbox game that does have a very dynamic world where, there's actually cave-ins where caves will collapse, and you could also like have things like volcanoes that would create new stones and new dirt and things along those lines.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. And definitely something where kind of taking some of the good ideas that are in our current sandboxes and just pushing it in kind of a different direction entirely. Because I could see the entire game being about just keeping this mining civilization alive and not having everyone get crushed by cave-ins and stuff. Proper planning. Just
You can't still find that treasure chest, huh?
still cannot find it. Here, let me open the map for a moment. Maybe we can. So I can't remember exactly which specific region it was. I feel like I'm kind of below the possible area where it could be. So maybe if I dig up through here, I can find it. As I look, I can see all through kind of the other areas around where it was.
Yeah, you can.
In fact, I'm gonna kind of put some torches down here. Is just like this is kind of the center point of the search area, I guess.
Right. So crazy. It's just not wanting to be found.
Yeah. Some houses are well lit and some are embedded in thick stone. It should be pretty obvious when I get close, though. And that's the other thing, is it might not be necessarily a full-fledged house either. It could just be a random chest.
Yeah, it could be it's a chest in a very small hole.
Very, very possible. And I gotta say once again, I really appreciate you sticking around here, because most shows we end up wrapping up around the 2-hour mark. Once again, I don't want to keep people from doing the stuff that they want or need to be doing, but I absolutely love being able to keep talking about the stuff and
Yeah,
keep playing here. Because I mean, especially with Crea, it's a game where the community feedback and the input and stuff and these kind of interactions, it seems like are the things that really do help drive the process with the game.
yeah, definitely. There aren't too many people that are streaming or doing Let's Plays of Crea yet, so it's definitely informative to see how people play the game and also just to talk to someone about, their process of, well, like how they see the game and what they like about the game.
Right. And especially people that actually care about the game, because I could see someone being like, "Oh, this is just Terraria, but it looks different."
Well, I don't think anyone who's actually played Crea has said that. Like, as
That's
soon
true.
as anyone plays it, they're like, "Oh, this isn't Terraria. This isn't Starbound." It's only the people that look at it for 1 minute or 10 seconds or whatever, and it's like, "Oh, this is just a ripoff."
Yeah, I mean, it's like saying, oh, Call of Duty and Battlefield and PlanetSide and Doom. Oh yeah, they're just first-person shooters. Whatever, they're all the same. Played
All the
one, played
same.
them all. No, could not be more wrong. Could not be more far from the truth. I mean, they're just so much variation. I mean, the fact that they're from a first-person perspective. Okay, well, just the camera aperture that you're looking through, the field of view you have, is different from game to game. You know, that alone, but you know, going through all the core systems and mechanics, it's really easy to see they're completely different games in every way. And likewise, yeah, there's gravity, there's blocks you're busting through, there's, you know, in this game there's a pickaxe, which, you know, does the function of both things, which is actually really funny, because in Landmark, the Trailblazers, or the Founders Pack item rather, is a dual function pick and axe. Otherwise, you only make pick or axe at a time. And they're actually
we have this. There's this actual tool in real life called Maddox, which is it has a pick end on one side, and then the other side is actually like an axe.
Yeah.
Where it's like turned to the side, and so yeah, I just didn't like you know, I like, for any game, you know, you look at other games for inspiration, and also inspiration to kind of tell you what not to do. And Crea, I did not like having to carry around like 3 different tools to do different things, and so
yeah, I agree with you there. Especially, I mean, it gets hilarious when you've got the combined tools, but you still have to carry around 2 of them or whatever, like the Hamax drill or whatever.
Oh yeah, Hamdrax.
Yeah.
So where have you not seen? So there's that one little area, like there's a little area below you, where it's at, and yeah, like straight below you, right there.
Oh yeah, where I was just standing a second ago. I'll go back over there.
Yeah, right there, and then yeah, there's just a few little spots. It has to be in one of those.
It's funny because if there was a prop there, like a tree or something, it'd totally be highlighted, but there's clearly nothing next to it.
Yeah, those are the hard ones to find. Just to like clear out this entire area. You can create bombs. You could try using some bombs to blow stuff up.
Those get through things a little quicker?
Oh yeah, definitely. They'll blow up like 6 or 7 blocks at once.
Nice.
You can even create sticky bombs.
How many get made in one throw? Just one at a time?
Yeah, you throw one at once.
No, I mean, I guess in one crafting I meant.
Oh, I think 1 core,
2 iron, and a catalyst or 2.
Catalyst. Oh wow. I probably will change that. Catalyst is kind of expensive.
Well, earlier on it is. I think at this point, if I just go the rounds to all the crystals, I come out with like more shards. Especially because I haven't been to a lot of them in a while, and they've probably got nice big clusters.
Right.
But no, that's definitely something. If people are expected to use a lot of bombs, that's
Then it's a luxury item for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the effort to go back and make them would be just as much as continuing to cut through here and try to find it wherever it is.
I agree. So you said that you work on some games. Are you a programmer or designer?
I've always been a designer, and realizing that without having the rest of a team, you also have to be the programmer and pretty much everything else.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm right now working on getting
you said you're doing Unity streams.
Yeah.
That's right.
Getting my chops together with that, because it's
nice.
It's a pretty good system to work with. It's an industry standard, so you know, whether I'm doing the indie track or the corporate professional track, knowing Unity and knowing C# will definitely help out a lot. So it's not there. It could still be further to the left.
Yeah, you...
The worst is that it's all stone here.
Have you seen that area down there? See the mushroom tree down to your bottom left?
Oh, I see. The little area that's kind of highlighted on the map. I'll try that.
I don't know what's over there exactly, but it's worth a shot.
Yeah, it's straight down from the previous hole I dug.
Another possible place it could be is right above it. There's that huge spot you haven't explored. You look on your map.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it could be in there.
Like right what was it? Left to your or right to your house and then a little down.
Right to the house. Yeah.
Yeah, right where you're, yeah.
Yeah, that area.
You're like definitely have like carved out pretty much all the area that it could possibly be.
So the area that we were looking at, I think, was just straight down here. I'm gonna stagger it so I can jump back up. And that slime's eventually gonna attack me when it turns to nighttime, huh? That's really weird to me that they sense day-night through the
To the ground. Yeah, I think I might change that. I don't know. Creatures are weird though. Like, I've been watching Planet Earth. Did you ever hear about that TV show?
That's one of those ones that's like just showing off various animals in their environment and stuff.
Yeah, it's just a nature show. But they did this one. Well, they were talking about some birds and migration. They actually mentioned that birds have this. How they are able to migrate is they have like this magnet built into their head, basically.
Yeah.
And they're able to tell. They can like feel the magnetic force that kind of goes around the world, that field, and so they can tell which direction they need to go based off of that.
You know, it's probably not that hard to install something like that.
In our head?
Well, yeah, actually, Zoe Quinn, the one who made Depression Quest and many other games, she's been apparently getting some cybernetic upgrades of her own. She's got a magnet in her finger, which she says she can use to detect electrical signals and where wires are underneath something, stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I could definitely see some sort of adaptation of that.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
Human augmentation. It's going to be interesting to see. We will see it in our lifetime, so.
Yeah, it's not that hard, I suppose. Oh man, this is just hilarious. Okay, I'm just gonna use this silver ore as an arrow pointing me where to go, and hopefully it's right. Welcome back.
So you're almost at the 4-hour mark, so you can just make 2 YouTube videos.
That's the that's gonna be the plan here. Yeah, that's usually, and I think this is actually gonna be the first officially 4-hour episode I've ever done.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Usually I've run out of stuff to talk about, or I've just ended my run one way or another at about the 2-hour mark for whatever game it is. I might need to do a 4-hour for FTL because it just takes that long to play the game.
Oh man, that game. Have you beat it yet?
I on easy my first time playing. Well, I guess my first time sitting down to play it. My second actual run through because I lost one of my ships early because I ran out of hull. I got all the way to the last boss, the last battle, but I didn't have enough close quarters mitigation to take out the things that teleported in.
Right. Oh
So
man.
yeah,
I have not beaten it yet. Yeah, that always kills me, that last boss. I feel like the difficulty curve just jacks up way high.
I was doing pretty good at that point because I had enough. I had the burst laser that you start with, so 3 lasers from that plus two shots from a heavy laser. It was 2 shots, 2 damage. So I
Right.
had 2 lasers online. I had the Artemis missiles going, and that allowed me to do what I needed to puncture through their shields. But what I found, the absolute trick to that last battle, the first place you want to hit with your missiles is actually the pilot seat because you kill their evasion. And with no evasion, you can hit everywhere else perfectly.
Uh, Interesting.
Otherwise, you just miss, 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 miss. And I realized, well, if I was having that kind of luck, why would it be? Oh, well, it's because my piloting and my engines would be all maxed out. If those were destroyed, I'd be dead in the water. So
Right.
I just kind of reverse engineer the
Interesting.
logic, and so I'm beginning to think it's maybe to the left somewhere. There's a few
Yeah,
more.
you've fully explored that area. Yeah, like I guess I kind of felt like that game is really well done, except for that one part. I feel like, at least to me, like coming at it from a game design perspective, I would think that um, the game should prepare you properly, so that way you can actually, like, if you're not doing well enough to be able to beat the boss, then they should kill you earlier on.
Okay, well that's the thing. If I had realized I was in the final system, or the second to last system, when I had all my salvage, I would have gone to a shop, filled out the rest of my crew, potentially with close combat experts, and I would have been able to win, or I would have been able to
Mm.
buy a second drone that would have kept my people alive in the close quarters. But I didn't realize how close to the end I was. So,
Okay.
just that little bit of planning would have made the difference for me.
Maybe I just suck at the game then.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, it's Binding of Isaac level difficulty. It really is. It's like the Binding of Isaac, except 8 times as slow.
Yeah.
Feminator, no, just no.
Wait, isn't this Starbound?
No, is this the where's my ship?
Yeah, right.
That ability to travel from world to world in Starbound, that's really, like, I would say, the big thing with it that makes it so awesome. Not that there aren't other elements of it that are awesome, because there are.
Right.
But that's the thing that really, like, cinches it, is like, oh damn, I can play this game forever. For people that are looking to play it forever.
That's what, well, I kind of want to achieve that kind of same thing, but with the dungeon system
Yeah.
and realms where you can basically travel to other worlds, but not through a spaceship, through this the way crystals.
Okay. So, in terms
I guess
of
you haven't done that yet, huh?
no, in terms of, like, the in-game technology, it's never gonna get like sci-fi, is it? Is it gonna be more like magic science sort of stuff? Like
Yeah,
if
what you see now is what it'll more or less be.
okay. All right, now I'm just starting to get desperate here.
How
How
about that one place that's like straight up?
straight up?
If you go to your map, yeah, since there's lag, it's kind of hard to.
Yeah.
Straight up from where I think all your torches are, that like group of torches. So you're
That
like,
one
I don't
little
know where my
spot.
character's at.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so like move your cursor straight up from that.
Yeah, I see the spot. I'm heading there now.
So that might be it. The other possibility is right to the right of it. Other than that, maybe the treasure chest is a lie.
Is this the spot we were talking about?
Oh look, there's an oil slime right there. So there's an opening, right? Have you been up in there? Or maybe you have. Oh yeah, you have.
Yeah.
Okay. False alarm.
I burrowed there from before. So that's a connecting path, but that's not necessarily where I was looking. There's no chance it's in there.
Well, it could be up more, right? I
Yeah.
think so.
Wait, up more right or up more left?
Up more straight. Straight up.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. So, like, you mean from where that kind of center point is, or?
Yeah, see there's that huge
Oh,
black-
actually, I see one spot that I still haven't checked yet that I kind of
Okay.
need to investigate. Wait a second. What's down there? Hey, I've been there, haven't I? That's hilarious.
How about so you see where those mushroom trees are? How about right above that?
Right above where these mushroom trees are.
And I'm pretty sure that section hasn't been explored.
Oh, I'm out of torches here. Let me grab a couple off the wall. I don't think I've used Earth spell in a while. Oh, I see. I had heal up. Oops. Alright. Okay, so it has entered my inventory and that bug we were seeing earlier.
Alright, so if you acquire it, then it doesn't.
Oh, and the glow ball doesn't work like a torch?
No, you have to throw it.
It doesn't appear to be glowing anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's broken then. Whoops. That would not be too surprising. It's not a commonly used item. It might just be that it's too dim. I don't know. But yeah, there's that section right there that hasn't been explored too much.
Unfortunately, it's just dirt, so I can just kind of get through it. That was the other reason why it's taken so long, is because it's all been stone and we've been trying to get through here.
Right.
Man. A gold key has led us on a 2-hour chase trying to dig through the world.
Probably could have gone somewhere else and found another gold chest by now.
Oh, I'm sure.
But it's about the journey, not the destination.
Exactly. It would be nice to have a pouch or two.
Indeed.
So, underwater, that's a biome I could see kind of being used. We don't really have an ocean or a lake or anything.
Yeah,
But
not yet.
we have a water-breathing item, so that's why it kind of seems like, you know, at some point maybe it would be something that we would expect to see.
Yep, actually, that's one of the remaining biomes we have planned is ocean type biome. I don't know how big I want it to be because I don't want the like it to cover too much of the world's surface, and then that would take up other possible biomes. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to play with it. It's probably going to be kind of like a mixture between a giant lake and a ocean type thing.
Well, something where it starts like, this doesn't have to be, exactly like Earth. It could be something where it's just kind of this column of water going down, and then it's, caves and stuff built up that the water's kind of eroded its way through all the way down, sort of thing. So that way it could like potentially shift and either taper off or have different shaping to it as it goes down. This is just connecting back to a previous path, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I first need to optimize the water more.
Yeah, I saw when you were working on that. The live stream was Friday last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was looking at it. I didn't actually do much with it. Like I didn't make the water faster. I just changed how it looks.
Okay.
I want to like optimize it so that way it can simulate much faster and be able to have like a giant lake. And if you start messing with it, like draining all the water out of it, it won't bring the game to its knees.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was the thing. When I would flood a elevator in Terraria, it would totally break water. I would go back through and see areas where it just stopped trying to process, and it would kind of look like some sort of weird chaos. Because there'd be places where there's just water floating. It's like that flowing effect animation, but it's sitting still.
Right. Yeah, doing that cellular automata is expensive because you want to break it down to a very small size, and consequently you can have like hundreds of thousands of these small little cells all trying to be simulated. And yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, Pound, I saw your message. Mr. Pound Sign there was saying about potentially giving away a copy of the game here, and
Oh, cool.
that would be totally cool, and I would totally do that. But at the same time, every time I've tried to do a giveaway on the show for a game, everyone already has the game, so I could do like I was thinking of just doing a Binding of Isaac giveaway because I got like 6 copies of that just for giveaways when it was on sale a couple weekends ago. I am really stumped here.
This is crazy. I'm almost tempted to tell you to just like hack the game and turn off the lighting.
Yeah, I would honestly, for the academic sake of knowing where it actually is in the world, I would be willing. Okay, so yeah, it does have a very dim glow because I did see it light up as I threw the ball through there.
Yeah, I probably need to change that because I did change how the lighting works, and so.
Oh, whoops! I left my last torch back there. Okay. Yeah, so when I come back into the game, it's not it wouldn't have those effects applied if we tried a console effect right now, right?
Y- yeah, you can actually toggle the lighting right now.
All right.
If you go up to that area
Mhm.
where you put all those torches down,
Yeah.
um, I think I'm lagging pretty far behind you right now, but
I'm
you
at
can
the spot
press
right now.
yeah, you can press F4 and it should turn off the lighting.
F4 does nothing. Is there a command I would need to enter first?
Oh wait, actually, let me see here. No, it shouldn't be a command. Maybe. Oh, I disable it. You would have to edit a file in the game to be able to disable it. Sorry, I was thinking, for some reason, I was thinking that you would be able to do it regardless, but I guess not.
Oh.
Um, yeah, like it kind of breaks the game in some ways, like being able to turn off the lighting because then it removes a lot of the discoverability, and so
Yeah.
I kind of don't want people doing that. Because like for cases like this, it kind of I don't think this happens too often, but like if it happened all the time, then obviously I would say that's a problem. And if people
Yeah.
just turn off the lighting to get around it, then that's not fixing the problem. And like I would
Right.
rather know that it's people are having problems finding items underground or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
So is it the sort of thing where I could actually send the world as a file to you so you could investigate it later?
uh yeah, well,
If you wanted
I
to.
mean,
I don't know if
sure, if you want, you can just send it to me on Skype right now, and I could look at it.
cool. Is it actually? That's a good question. What is the bucket for? Would I just send it as is? Would I have to save game real quick to send it over?
Um, it's probably no. You could send it as is because most likely, it's saved recently. It auto
Okay.
saves.
Cool. So then let me know where I'm looking here. Is it just
So are you playing? Yeah, you're playing through Steam. So you want to browse local files, and then there should be a character folder as well as a worlds.
worlds?
Yeah. So if you could zip up those. I don't know if you have multiple worlds and characters.
I have a few, but they're all separated. There's just a world called Neuro here I could zip up and send over if you want.
Sure. I
Okay.
could poke at that really quick. And then I could slowly guide you. We could play like a hot and cold game where I'm like
I've just
cold.
been playing a hot and
Uh,
cold game for the past 2 hours. We found 2 gold keys. Alright. Sending it over. There we go.
that would actually be interesting to try to change that um, to be more of like a hot and cold game rather than just because right now it's like you get one key and then it's somewhere nearby, but it might be interesting where like maybe if you find the key, then that treasure chest might like glow, or maybe like something happens so you kind of know which direction it is. Like you can maybe do something with the key to be able to like be guided towards where the chest is at.
I like the idea of the chest glowing because that way you only get that special indicator when you found the key. But unless you have a key in your hands, you can't be just going through the world trying to find the chests.
Right. Yeah, it would have to like maybe glow whenever it's dropped from the monster, so it knows like, oh, well, this chest is nearby, so I'm gonna drop this key. I dropped this key, so I'll make that chest glow.
Yeah.
Something like that. All right, let me see here.
By the way, is there any sort of dedicated server that anybody can just kind of log on whenever, or plans for that somewhere down the road?
So one of our community members, who goes by the name Wookie, recently opened up something like that, and I don't know if I will do one like that. I might. Oops, let me turn this music down.
It's a lot of resources.
Yeah, at the least, like, I'm sure community members will do that, and there may be an official one that I do eventually, or like an officially sanctioned one that a community member does that, you know, I say this is good. But I'm sure that'll happen at some point. I do have a what was it? I do have a dedicated server software like set up and mostly put together.
Cool.
So that will be possible soon. Yeah. Could you actually press F2 really quick, and that will tell me where you are at inside of the world.
Sure. Let me go right back to the torches.
So
whenever
you press F2, it'll actually the last piece of information in that window, that list, is a cursor tile position.
Yeah.
And that will tell me like exactly where I want to warp to.
Okay, it's 973 by 772.
Sweet, there. All right, let's see here. I feel like I'm cheating now.
I mean, tell me if I was at least close.
Yeah, I'm looking. I still haven't seen it yet, but I'm kind of venturing around. Still haven't found it yet. I do not see it. Exist. It's a lie.
So I guess the one other thing is there any way you can discern if it was trying to base it on the position of where there was a gold chest nearby? Because there was one in that area before then.
Well, you unlocked that one though, right?
Yeah. In fact, there were kind of two in that area that I had unlocked. There's the one in the house, and there's the one on that little island above it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I can look to see if it's still considering to drop a key in those situations.
Cool.
It's on lava.
Yeah. All right then. I mean that kind of answers things. So I guess this would probably be about time to wrap it up here. And
oh, I found a gold chest.
You found it? Was it really close or really far?
Because
I've kind of left the area at this point.
So this one's not that far away.
Does it seem like it'd be kind of within the reasonable radius, or is it like...
I don't think so. I think this might be a completely other one. Like, I'm still looking around a little bit. Maybe I overlooked it where it's at.
Cool. Well, you know what? I'm going to give the show wrap-up info right now, and then
Sure.
we can kind of keep going. So this has been episode 13 of Procedural Powerhouses. I am your host, Legendary Neurotoxin, and joining me here has been Jason from the Siege Games team. We've been featuring Crea for the past 4 hours. It has been a whole lot of fun, and I recommend everybody get it if you don't already have it, and if you do, be looking forward to these awesome features coming along here pretty soon. Cool.
Well, thanks for having me. Thank you, everyone, for joining. It's been fun.